get the most out of them, really. Oh, and yes, we're going to be recording you. So don't worry, just get yourself a cup of tea and put your feet up, and then you'll have a recording to go through at your leisure. So it looks like our chat box for some reason is disabled. I'm not quite sure why. So just use the Q&As. We'll keep an eye on it, and any questions we'll try and answer as we go along, or if not, we'll grab questions and that from you at the end. So sit back and enjoy, everyone, and over to you, Jason.
Jackie, thank you very much. So my initial job is to define a dedication page, and I'm trying to remember kind of my lift, my elevator definition. So I would describe it very quickly as a digital kind of collage, a montage, a digital wall. And those of you who remember corkboards from inside your houses and schools, kind of a digital equivalent of that. Dedication pages are completely separate to tribute funds. So for the time being, forget about tribute funds. They are standalone pages which enable supporters to add a message with an image. So the message is the minimum amount of interaction, but they can include a photo if they want to. And there's an opportunity for supporters to make a one-off donation, and that process you can set to be off, optional, or compulsory. So we're very grateful to Legacy Foresight, and Legacy Foresight did a piece of research into in-memory giving, and they found that not everyone wants a tribute fund, a tribute page, because they're quite involved, but people wanted a bit more than simply entering the name of the person who's died on a donate form. So we came up with this product, this dedication page product, which was initially to be in memory, but we'll talk a bit later on about how it can be for other things as well. So thank you, Legacy Foresight, for the inspiration. A dedication page could be a digital version of your physical book of remembrance, perhaps. So if in your building you've got a book of remembrance, you could potentially use a dedication page to have a digital version of that. And the same with if you've got memory walls or memory trees, you can use them for that. And they don't, as I mentioned earlier, they don't have to be in memory. You can use them for campaigns, appeals, and events. And the scripted bit, which I was meant to say, is dedication pages offer a huge amount of flexibility and can be used to support a wide variety of fundraising initiatives, from campaigns to seasonal activities. Dedication pages are an incredibly versatile tool. They can be set up quickly, and we're going to talk a bit later on about the free templates that you have available. And you can have as many pages as you can manage. Or instead of using one of the templates, you can ask us to make a bespoke page for you for a small fee. Your supporters can then upload their memories, messages, and photos, helping boost support and engagement with your charity's work. So why have a dedication page? So Advantage partners and Optimum partners have access to the dedication page product. You both have access to the free templates. So use them to get your money's worth. They're included, and potentially a single or a couple of dedication pages could recoup the subscription you pay to Much Loved for your tribute fund platform. So yeah, give it a go. You've got nothing to lose. They're a great way to attract new supporters. The process is really short and simple. I've seen some successful dedication pages that have been linked to from Facebook. So imagine someone in the evening kind of scrolling through Facebook, clicking on a post with the link to the dedication page. The process from there on is really short. And so it's a great way to get new supporters and to attract donations. An opportunity to re-engage. So no doubt you'll have a warm supporter base, and you can kind of treat them like VIP. So if you create a dedication page, you could ask them to be the first to add their dedication. I'm reminded of Alzheimer's Society's dedication page, and they created the dedication page as a way of collecting experiences of people caring for people with dementia during lockdown. And on that page, the stories that were added was then shared with government. So they were given a voice, which is quite a special way to use a dedication page. And I've got here the next bullet point down. An American psychotherapist talks about the 5 A's as being like the key to good relationship with someone. And so Alzheimer's Society used this space to allow people to share their story and for there to be attention. So they've really kind of ticked those 2 kind of A's in the 5 A's. You don't have to use these dedication pages for bereaved people. So it's a space for the 5 A's to apply to all supporters, perhaps people saying thank you to your charity or sharing a photo of a much loved family pet. And this seems a bit obvious, but an opportunity for you to say thank you again. So it could be the beginning of another special journey. And where will that journey go? It's likely, or there's the possibility that you might be the only person who says their loved one's name. So in the thanking, you saying their name is really powerful. So you've got like your brilliance is your humanness, and your this gives you the opportunity to kind of say their name again and to say thank you. It could be that you've spotted a couple of dedications on a dedication page of yours, and that could be the beginning of a tribute fund, perhaps. So there's an opportunity for you to interact with that supporter and say, how about having a tribute page? And we know that tribute owners can become legacy donors. So yeah, where will this journey go? So our next slide is on average dedication page donation. So the average, including gift aid, is £34. However, that obviously only applies to pages where the donations are set to mandatory or optional. And my background is funerals, and in the funeral landscape, bereaved people are very used to there being a transactional element for everything. So if someone wanted to have a plaque at the crematorium or a rose bush, there would be a transaction for that. If someone after the funeral wanted for a Catholic mass to be said in memory of someone, there would be an expected donation. So the funeral landscape is people in it are very used to there being a transactional element. So that might be worth bearing in mind. And I'm going to hand over to Jackie now.
Okay, and just reiterating on Jason's point there, I know that some of the memory walls that you have is in a bereaved space, that you may want to keep those donations optional, but with regards to your campaign and appeal pages, you know, the dedication pages should be viewed as a maybe fundraising tool for you. So maybe then, you know, make that ask mandatory as you would in your appeals. So it's just food for thought of where you make them mandatory. Don't be afraid in the bereaved space, as Jason's just you know, given his expertise on. So it's just, you know, when you're planning your campaign, that you have got those options as well. You've also got the option clearly to have no donations, and that's really good for charities with perhaps a mental health charity, where you want to give your supporters a space to leave their thoughts rather than it be about the monetary value. So that's how versatile these pages can be as a fundraising tool for you guys. So yeah, the free much loved templates. So we've loaded quite a lot of templates within your partner area now, and I'll do a demo in a minute and show you how you access those. If you do want a bespoke page, there's £130 VAT small charge, and this is because our designer needs to manipulate your artwork to make sure that it will display correctly on all our devices. So mobiles, we know that dedication pages are accessed mostly on mobiles, so it's just make sure that it will display correctly for your supporter. The templates are already been sized and everything, so you can just use them without any bother. And don't forget, if it is bespoke artwork, if you supply your imagery with no text on. And the other thing to remember is that you can use your banner over and over again. So you can repeat it at Christmas. If you're using it for an appeal, you might use it in other environments. So you can use it over and over again. Crews have got a really good dedication page banner, and what they tend to do is, depending on what season it is, they change the wording. So it's suitable for Christmas, it's suitable for a memory wall, it's suitable for whatever part of the calendar year we're in. So 10 days, working days for those bespoke pages. So when you're planning your campaigns and you want a campaign dedication page to support it, just bear in mind that we just need those 10 working days for our designer. But don't worry, everything I'm going to show you, we also have an easy to follow video within the support site. So I'm just going to share my screen now. Share, and hopefully you can all see that we're in this is how our partner area looks. This is our pretend charity, if you like, that we use for demos. So along your bar, you'll see dedication pages. Now, I know most people on this webinar have probably created their dedication pages already, or you're familiar with seeing this. But for those that haven't or you're new, I'm just going to show you how easy it is to create your new campaign. So just hit the create a new campaign button. Everything is very logical on this platform. There's always a button. So create a new campaign. So as I'm being inundated with Christmas requests at the minute, we're going to call this Christmas. I know we don't like to talk about that word at the minute, but hey ho. So we'll put the charity name in the domain for the URL, and I think I'll have this as a dedication page. You can see you've got quite a lot of options here. So Light Up a Life will be particularly used by our hospice partners, because a lot of those hold Light Up Your Life pages. Memory page, you might want to just keep it simple if you're having a memory wall on, you know, where you talk about your in-memory products on your website, but you have got options there to suit whatever campaign as appropriate. So let's go for dedication and enter a path. Let's call it Christmas. Now everything is flexible, so we can change at any time. So there you go, there's that Christmas campaign. Move along to the settings button, click in, and here we have a little page where you can now populate everything that you'd like to do. So like I said, the URL you can change. So if you think, oh no, we need it to be a bit more embedded, or you wanted to add the year, then that's, you just change here. Campaign date, so you can switch your campaigns on and off, you know, and you can have as many pages as you wish. So once the campaign dates come to an end, I'd make it read only, so nobody else is going to probably find the page or add to it. But for those supporters that have already you know, made a dedication and they perhaps want to view the page again, they can still have the opportunity. So donors are shown the standard GDPR statement for our charity. So what with the GDPR, I know some charities have slightly different wording on dedication pages, or for a particular appeal, maybe Christmas, you need to add the fact that it is a Christmas appeal in your GDPR. You need to send your statements to your account managers. We'll add them onto the system for you so that it pulls through for that particular dedication page. You've also got the QR code, which are proven to be more and more popular. I think they're everywhere now. You can add your logo, and so you can get that all set up as well. And alert subscriptions. So this is where just click through, add your email address, and then every time there's any activity on the page, whether it be a dedication or a donation, you'll get a little mini alert just in case you need to keep track of the campaign. And you can set that for monthly or daily. Right, so going over to the other side of the screen, the dedication welcome message. So this is where you would say to a supporter who's just come into the page for your campaign, thank you for supporting festive, let's call it festive campaign. Now, you guys are obviously much more creative than me, but you get the gist of what I'm doing. So donations. Now, if your campaign was, like we said earlier, a real fundraising campaign, I think I'd make it mandatory. But as you can see there, you have got optional. So in that bereaved, maybe a memory wall where you know, this is a bereavement tool for those supporters. You might want to make it optional, or you do have that opportunity to not collect anything but messages. So save changes there. So your message for donors. So everybody who's made a monetary donation will get this message. So this is your opportunity to fill out this box here to say your donation will mean, you know, we can carry on. Your donation means we can continue support in the community over festive period. And I just think to try and in these messages tie it back to your campaign so that your supporter is completely knowing that this is their appeal, whether it be Christmas or whatever campaign you're doing, just so they know that what campaign it is they're donating to. So the dedication thank you messages, so everybody sees this, whether they've made a message donation or not. So those people that have just uploaded a picture and shared their story, you'll have an opportunity to thank them again. You're clearly not just going to say thank you, you're going to be a lot more creative, as I mentioned. So then into page design, configure page design. This is where your magic will happen. So campaign template. So this is where you can access those free templates. So you can see we've got quite a lot. So at your leisure, have a little look round at what we've got. We're always adding different banners and to these templates, so it's worth keeping your eye on them. Let's go for festive and red. Let's go red. Use this template, and then it will say we're using red baubles. But again, once you've created your banner and you don't like it, you want to try out another one, try out a few. In fact, what I would suggest is once you've set up your page, maybe get a colleague to look at it and check that you've not missed anything and how it's looking. Do a little bit of a supporter journey, just so you can test the page before you promote it. Along the top section, we'll select a logo. Let's put that one in. Upload, the navigation menu. So this is where you would perhaps put a link back to your home page. I'll just put this in, it won't do anything. So add menu item, maybe your Christmas campaign, if this is what it's about. Add menu item. And then into the banner section. So this is where you're going to put your campaign heading. Christmas. Yeah, like I said, you guys are 100 times more creative than me. And then we'll just have some wording on the page. And you could put things like if you're having a physical event, where that event's going to be. If you're doing something like putting trees on, decorations on a tree, you could say come along and leave a bauble and share that memory on the page. So there's lots of creative ways how you can get your supporters to engage. Let's save those changes. You also have the option here to change this button. So you could, let's say, make a donation and leave a dedication. Or if it was optional, you might just say leave your dedication. So you can make that button as personal and appropriate to the campaign that you want. Right, let's just view this campaign now. Hopefully it's all worked. Yes, so here we go. This would be your logo here, your links back to your websites. You'd have lovely creative writing in this banner here. And there you go. So that's all created free, and it probably took me 5 minutes maximum. If we just go back to the page design, so go back to our campaign. What I would also suggest is that you add an offline dedication so that visitors to the page aren't the first ones, because there's nothing more sort of worrying that if you arrive on that blank page and there's nothing there. So a couple of nice little dedications, whether you put an image with it, I'd suggest an image, but you don't have to. And again, you just literally follow everything. It's a very, very logical platform. Just put a couple of little dedications and there you go. You're away then to promote your page. So I hope that all made sense. If there is any questions about how to do that, we'll take them if you've got any, or we can chat at the end, or have a little look at the dedication info in the partner area. Right, so we can, I'll stop sharing now and hand you back to myself, because I think I'm still the next slide. Yep, so just to reiterate, so to optimize and maximize the functionality you have with your Much Loved Partnership. So by that, what I mean is, so you've created your page, so how are you going to promote it to your supporters? So if your campaign has a printed DM pack, or your email, emailing, you can add the URL or that QR code, because it's great for the supporter just to get the code and go straight to your page. Online email signatures, websites, e-newsletters are great, and of course social media channels. We know that our supporters look at your supporters look at their dedication pages via these channels, so it's worth bearing in mind to see how you can optimize those channels as well. The top tips: preload a couple of dedications so visitors to the page aren't the first. And on that note, your warm supporters, i.e. those people that you know quite well, they always support your events, you may know them on a personal note, ask them to make a dedication first, so they are on your page, and make them feel a bit special before you promote it as well, because often those supporters often love to share their stories as well, so they're obviously good advocates to kickstart your page. Okay, so Jason, I think it's over to you now.
Thanks, Jackie. I'm reminded of this photo of Gary, thanks to the Edwards Trust for kind of being the pioneers in using dedication pages for something other than in memory. So we're using Gary's image here without permission, but I've got some examples to show you, and I'm sure my colleagues watching will be thinking, oh, I know of better examples. So do kind of reach out to them for other examples, because if you have an idea, which we're going to kind of tease from you a bit in a short while, your account manager will know of real life examples. So I wanted to show you Birmingham Dogs Home. So Birmingham Dogs Home have got this super page for their 130th anniversary, and it's had lots of interaction. So this is a really lovely one. And quite often I get lost kind of looking through the photos. Thank you pages. So this one for St. Peter and St. James's Hospice did incredibly well. And we have a PDF takeaway to give to you, a bit like a party bag from a children's party at the end, that we're going to upload onto our support site, and I think we're going to email it to you. And it's got the key takeaways, because St. Peter and St. James's, the clever fundraisers there, joined us in a webinar, and there's a link on that PDF to the webinar, but we've also bullet pointed what they did and what worked well for them. So this is a good example of a thank you page. And that reminds me of patient stories. So Air Ambulance Charities, quite often we've got a few where they are using the page to record and share patient stories, which is quite a nice way of using them. MNDA use a dedication page to record their legacy pledges' motivations. So again, creating a space for community. So this kind of common theme of community. So that's quite nice. Bolton Hospice got 500 people to pledge £100 last year, and Bolton Hospice have added these photos. So we can also set the page so that only you can add dedications. So this is quite a nice way of using the page. Belfast City Marathon, so Chest, Heart and Stroke, used a dedication page to add photos that I think a professional photographer took, which is quite nice. So again, community, so not in memory, but still able to create a sense of community. So these Cubs, these Scouts, have completed a challenge, and then their photos have been added to this dedication page, which is another way of using them. So we were going to ask you if you have any ideas of how you might be able to use them. So if you wanted in the chat to add any ideas that you might have, and I can then add them to this page here. So Jackie, you might need to help me in kind of, hopefully we're going to get loads of suggestions, but if you can think of any other ideas that we haven't thought of. Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you know, a place to leave your thoughts. So for example, the you know, like your mental health charities, or just, you know, to gauge how people are feeling. You know, you're giving them a space for that as well. Pet shows, Father's Day we've got here. Thank you for volunteering. Oh yeah, we're getting loads of ideas. Birthdays is a great one as well, especially when you get to my age and people are always wondering what to get you. Oh, I love that one. Anniversary after going into remission. What a great idea that is. And to collect the stories, and that is also a great one, because I know all charities are always looking of a way to you know, talk to other supporters and share the story of another supporter, because supporters obviously resonate because they've often been through the same thing. Support from corporates, yeah, because they always often are challenged with having to support a charity. So if you can get in there, that's a really great idea.
These are amazing, and I've kind of run out of space now.
Yeah, so we'll capture these, and we can sort of add them to the notes, maybe, Jason, before we send out the webinar link.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
See, I knew you lot were all creative.
We were slightly worried that you wouldn't say anything at all, so thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so then just going back to campaign pages, just to give you a few ideas of what can be done. So thanks, Alzheimer's Society, as Jason already mentioned, in lockdown, collected stories about people who've been affected by dementia to talk to local government, and they also had a thank you page to support that as well. The RNLI, I love this little campaign. So it's been going probably for 3 years, I think. So it complements a physical campaign. And by that, what I mean is they ask supporters for a £100 donation. And with that donation, they get the opportunity to have their loved one's name on a little decal on a physical lifeboat, but then they drive them to the dedication page to share the story of that person. And they are some really happy stories and funny stories, and you know, some people have put lots and lots about a special memory, but what a great campaign, and it's just carrying on and carrying on. So it's developed over the years. And then a number of charities, obviously the Queen, bless her, was patron to a lot of charities, so we added templates to the partner area. Some charities actually use their own bespoke template that they wanted to create. So again, you can be very versatile with what's happening around us, what's going on in the world, how we need to react to those. This is a great little page that is for those one-off messages or one-off donations. St John Ambulance thank you was lovely. They asked their supporters to turn their buildings green and then load them onto the page. And so that page looked very colourful and very green, but what a lovely idea, and it just keeps that engagement with your supporters, that reason to keep connected to them, to do something different and not always just sending something, making an ask. So this is a bit of a different way of doing it, and I know that there's lots of creativity and you come up with lots of ideas, so it's always good to see what you're up to. So next slide please. And I think so I've just said, why not create your page for Christmas? We've said they're not for Christmas, and hopefully we've shown you how they can be used. And the PDF that we're going to upload and send out to you has a bit of a calendar of events of how to use different dedication pages during different times of the year. But as you probably know, they are perfect for the festive season. This is the one time of year where people really, if it is in memory, it's a way of remembering that person, sharing their Christmas memories in past Christmas memories. Or it doesn't, like Jason said, have to be in men. It can just be to support your Christmas appeal. So this one here, Anthony Nolan, they've been running this now for the last 3 years. So it's the same page. The first 2 years they actually had paid ads, which weren't that successful, but they are a niche charity. But they wanted to encourage, their main aim was to encourage people who'd previously donated to engage with them again. And that has turned out to be their best performing audiences for donating. So they emailed 6,700 supporters, I believe, and raised over £3,000 from just 61 gifts. There was 2 high value gifts within that of £500, but even if you exclude those high value gifts, it meant their average gift was still £34, including gift aid. So it just goes to show the longevity and the repeating and the building on, a bit like RNLI as well. So lots of opportunities and lots of creative juices, we hope, as for you. So Jason, I think, is going to pop in some links. I'm just going to look in the chat box to see if there's any other questions.
Yeah, thanks, Jackie. I was going to, in the chat, I was going to pop in the link for our next webinar so that everyone, whilst they're here after we've finished with the questions, can register for it. And it's on promoting in memory giving. So perhaps if you've got any colleagues, Marcoms colleagues, who would benefit from joining, then invite them to register. And I've just popped in the link there. We're just having a scan through the questions.
I think Sally's answered quite a lot while we've been chatting. I'll just make sure we've not missed everyone. And some great ideas there as well. So I hope that has helped everybody, and you can see how quick and easy and versatile these pages are. Is there any more questions, or you can email your account manager after this session if there's something you particularly needed to ask or thought of after?
I was going to say, have a play with creating a dedication page using the template that Jackie's just showed us, and kind of sit on the wording, kind of sleep on it, and then come back to it and perhaps ask colleagues to have a nosy. And I suppose involving them also is a good way of doing a bit of internal promotion, to ask them what they think of the process. But do ask us account managers to do an MOT for you. So we're more than happy to have a nosy and critique them and kind of give you some pointers. But just have the courage to have a go and reach out to us if you need any help.
So Mark's just asked if many charities have more than one page at the moment. So yes, they do. They'll have a memory wall that's permanently perhaps on their website, where they talk about their in-memory products such as tribute funds, funeral collections. but then they'll have pages to support any campaigns or appeals that might be going out. They might have a legacy wall as well, so you can have as many pages as you want. It's and you can switch them on and off as well. And the other thing to remember is that all the income that comes from the donations to these pages are still paid across on the 15th of the month, but they're paid on separate lines, so that you can keep your campaign income separate from your tribute in memory income, just so that you haven't got to worry about splitting it out or anything. And within the dedication page partner area, create a few campaigns and put a couple of dedications, and you'll start to get data within that, and you can see how many donations per campaign. You can really use the data to get all the information you need, how successful that campaign has been, especially if you need to cross-charge the income raised from that campaign and allocate it to what the campaign was. So is it possible to have a landing page with links to other tribute pages throughout the year? So do you mean a tribute landing page, or is it possible to have a landing page, a tribute landing page? Okay, so landing page. Now I think our landing pages for tributes more about for your supporters when they land on that page to create their tribute page and search for a tribute page, but you could use your tribute garden maybe. Yeah.
So Karen, what I mentioned earlier about your tribute fund landing page, which I think I mentioned, is that would be created by you, and then on that page you could have your unique URLs. So our Advantage partners have unique URLs to create a tribute, to search for a tribute, and also to create a funeral collection. So that, I think, is what I meant by a landing page. Someone else mentioned about having a permanent in-memory dedication page. So on that tribute fund landing page that you've created, to have the other bit of much loved integration, I think, is a brilliant idea. So having a permanent in-memory dedication page, and actually you could use I don't know, like a Mother's Father's Day page as your starting point for your in-memory dedication page. So I know of some partners who've had a Mother's Day page, for example, and then they've turned that into their permanent in-memory dedication page.
Is it possible to upload a video on a dedication page? I don't think it would be, no, Antonio. You're coming up with lots of ideas though, Antonio.
Yeah, I really like GIFs. GIFs are a good idea. That would be good.
Yeah. It's quite a simple template. It was created probably initially as a fundraising tool for charities, and it was for a space where perhaps your supporters didn't want a tribute fund, but actually wanted to leave a memory of their loved one somewhere, and it's a way of collecting that one-off donation. So and they've just expanded and developed and grown, mainly because the charities are so creative, I would say.
I'm just checking to see if we've missed any questions. So I'm having a quick scan through.
I think
Helen.
we have got lots of ideas in for development on different things, and we've always got a development pipeline. So I'm not sure where we are with dedication pages, but I'm sure there'll be something going on within that pipeline. So as soon as we know, we can let our charities know what we're going to plan to release next.
Jess, you asked about top tips for promoting a dedication page. So on our support site, we've got a promotion section. So if you struggle to find it, just ask one of us and we can send you the links. Stroke, I think, had a really successful campaign on Facebook, and in the takeaway document there are some key learnings in that, so that there's a kind of access to a bit of information there. But I think that's pretty much everything.
Yeah. Oh, so that was very good interactive session. Thank you, everybody.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Okay, so we can end it there. Have a great day, everybody, and have a great weekend.